What's happening, guys, and welcome to the Galactic Explorers Podcast. This is episode 32. My name is Ash, and I am joined, as always, by Jeff, my partner in crime.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Good to hear. Just a quick update on this last episode. Thank you, everyone, so much for subscribing to the new channel. It's been, to be honest, I'm surprised how, even though we've only got like maybe 10 subscribers, it's gone a lot quicker. It's been a lot more successful than I thought it would have been.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I know I'm personally really chuffed about that. I'm pretty sure Jeff is too.
Oh, definitely, man. It's awesome.
So yeah, it's been a kind of a quiet week on the No Man's Sky front, really. Before we do continue on to the topics, though, just so you guys know, we are now available on Android. Woohoo! Finally.
Can confirm.
Yes, we can confirm. We literally got confirmed the day that the last episode got uploaded, so I didn't have anything like any graphics on that video or such. I just had to quickly input the links in the description. So at the beginning of this video, at some point you would have seen on the bottom of the screen the graphics that I had made up ready when it got confirmed that it got uploaded. So yay! Make sure you guys like subscribe to that.
Is it different than the thumbnail that you did for the videos? How it says Galactic Explorers Podcast? Is it different than that, or is it? It
should all be the same. So all the actual on iTunes, it should say the Galactic Explorers Podcast. It should be the dark blue icon.
Yeah, that day that I sent you that picture of the Android. Me listening to the podcast on Google Play, it had that Galactic Explorers thing already up. So
what I tried to do is I tried to keep everything channel wise to the Galactic Explorers, and then I'm going to try and keep the podcast as Galactic Explorers Podcast kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it should everything should. If anyone sees anything, just let me know in like the comments or something, and I'll get straight onto it. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for supporting it and everything. Make sure
it's awesome.
Yeah, make sure you, like I said, we're on iTunes now. We're on Google Play Music. We're obviously on YouTube as well. So yeah, we're getting out there. We're definitely getting out there. So let's go on to Waking Titan. I just want to cover the last part of this ARG. What's happened since it all finished with these live drops. What happened? So obviously, I think the last thing we got was a tweet from Ware Research and Development saying that they want to thank everyone for their substantial efforts in this investigation. Mr. Zeng will be apprehended and brought back home as soon as possible. And then on May the 4th, which was Star Wars Day, everybody. Yay! Users subscribed to Ware mailing list started receiving the next developer kit update. It announced that 10 out of 682 submissions were selected as finalists to the contest, and the public community vote was open to devkit.ware. That site. Voting will close on May 11th. The email will also mention No Man's Sky as one of Ware's partnered games. So that's the last. I think that's the last and most up-to-date information that we do have currently.
If you go onto the where you can see like the 10 submissions or the 10 people or whatever, like there's some pretty cool stuff on there. Like they actually show like little short videos or something like that. Or, it's pretty cool. So I mean,
I'm wondering if this is something to do with that sub company that the Hello Games was going to make.
Oh, Hello Labs.
Yeah, because that kind of sounds, because obviously that was what their idea was, wasn't it? Was to develop indie developers' games and help them bring their games to the forefront if they were able to. And obviously with these submissions, that's what it sounds to me. It might be part of that or something. I don't know.
I'm still lost on where this is going.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
the
only other thing I can think of is, like I said, is the mod support coming to consoles. Perhaps.
I mean, that would be great. I mean, but like I said, you made the point as if like it wouldn't really be that much of a big thing if for PC players because that's already out there.
Yeah.
So like that's so that'd be cool for console players and everything. But like if they tout it as a update or a new feature in this patch, then it's not really a new feature for PC players. So.
No. But yeah, so that was the last update from Waking Titan. If we go on to our topics then, so let's start off. I mean, this one is, I think, might ruffle some feathers, it might not. Does Waking Titan cater towards the everyday fan of No Man's Sky? Now, I picked this question out just because I would consider myself more of an everyday fan. I hate Reddit. Everyone knows that I hate Reddit. It's just so confusing. I mean, I've started using it a little bit, and I'm still like, oh, what we're doing exactly. But anyway, Reddit
is such a dangerous Reddit is such a dangerous place, man.
Yeah,
a lot of toxicity if you know where to look.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking this because it seems everything about No Man's Sky happens on Reddit, and I was thinking like there doesn't seem to be anywhere else. I mean, Twitter, sure, but Twitter can be just as confusing as Reddit. Especially if you said if you're just a casual person, you tend to follow everyone pretty much on Twitter, and then you look at your feed and you can't identify between which post and which everything what's going off on your feed and things like that. It can be a bit confusing for some people. But I think, like I said, I'm not sure if it does really cater for the everyday fan of No Man's Sky.
I don't think so either.
No. I mean, it's been good to follow, but if you don't follow it, if a lot happens in the space of 3 days, and you've been away, or you just haven't been at your computer to catch up on what's going on, it tends to be a lot goes down, and it's really confusing to catch up on.
Yeah.
Especially when it's these puzzles, what we've got to sort out. It's one thing if it's just a tweet like the Where Research and Development tweets, or even if it's just a dev kit update allowing you to vote. But it's another thing when it's these locked boxes in the live drops and things like that. And I mean, it's fine if you just want to skip to the end and just find out what they found.
Right.
But sometimes even then it's still confusing as what it is.
I don't know. Like the way that I see it is that No Man's Sky has a unique following, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, even though that's the case, and it's it's kind of like a niche kind of game, I think the percentage of people that actually religiously follow Waking Titan is even that much smaller.
Yeah.
So people that are hardcore into the game, that love No Man's Sky, that follow it day in day out, yeah, they're gonna be in it. But I mean, I just don't think when you take the people that play No Man's Sky as a whole, I think the percentage of people that really follow Waking Titan is relatively small.
Yeah. It seems like I think when an update does drop, there's always a resurgence into No Man's Sky. Like even new copies are bought, or people will actually play it again if they haven't played it for 6 months,
right?
A year or so, and then that's fine. That's understandable. Obviously, an update's just dropped, but when it comes to the actual ARG, there'll just be a slight more increase in activity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the major coverage websites don't really show that much about what's going on.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, a lot of people know about the updates for No Man's Sky because they either hear it on like like a mainstream gaming article, or they just notice that there's a update downloading on their PlayStation or X. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that they are like, oh, hey, the ARG has ended. That means there's a No Man's Sky update coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like they hear about it from like just different places besides just the core fans that know that the ARG is done, or just movement going on within and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think the ARG caters to like the really hardcore fans, and that's cool, dude. Because you know what, man, a lot of people have stuck with this game for such a long time that they deserve to have some cool shit like this happen. So, so good for them. I just think they're catering to a relatively small audience.
I mean, it's also a bit strange because obviously, like the major coverage companies also they don't really tend to mention the ARG. They just mention the fact that there's going to be an update.
Right. I mean, and if they do, it's like one sentence out of a whole article.
Yeah, they'll literally just mention Waking Titan, and maybe that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a brief description of what it is.
Yeah, they don't really give it like a lot of airtime, let's say.
Yeah. Another thing about that then is that exactly about that point, it must have cost them quite a lot of money to obviously do this whole ARG.
I'm sure.
But if they're only going to be catering to like you say it yourself, a small section of diehard fans, especially if these updates are free currently anyway, does that even seem plausible?
You know what? I go back to the fact that, when they first launched No Man's Sky, I mean, how big was their team? 15, 14 people at most?
Maybe
at most
20 at most, yeah.
At most. Dude, that game made so much money. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was probably close to, $80 million, $100 million across PC and PlayStation, maybe?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, dude, just think about how that money is going to get split up and distributed through 20 people.
Yeah.
Max. You know what I'm saying? Like, so... Yeah, we're saying that it must cost a lot for them to do this ARG, but don't forget, their reputation was dragged through the mud. Like, they need to kind of, as far as, I mean, this is how they're pretty much advertising their content in a way and keeping their fans engaged. So, like, they have to spend some money to do that. I mean, if they didn't do that and they just did like, oh, hey, every couple months, like maybe do like a developer freaking update or something like that, or like what's going on. Like, dude, it wouldn't be good enough. Like, people wouldn't have been engaged as they are now. I mean, like, you have to cater to your hardcore fans because those are people that are going to play the game.
For sure.
So like if you veer away from your hardcore fans, like, what do you have left?
Mm-hmm. So with you just actually mentioning it, advertising, is it because we've just both admitted that it's not really. It's not something that's catered towards everyday fans. So, is it really a good idea to use the Waking Titan ARG as your? It's pretty much No Man's Sky's only form of advertising these days.
I mean, but you know what? How much? Okay, so this is what I was just thinking about: is how much does it cost to run Waking Titan over its entirety, and then how much would it cost to pay other companies or websites or whatever, or YouTube or whatever, to run ads for commercials on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, if it's relatively comparable, then, I mean, honestly, I'd rather have this type of advertising over just watching freaking ad after ad on YouTube. I mean, I mean, honestly, at this point in time, I mean, they don't really have too many fans as far as gaming media. I mean, there's very few gaming media websites that will still even like support No Man's Sky just because of the backlash they're afraid to get from the No Man's Lie people and this and that and the comment sections or whatever. So, like, honestly, like, this is one of their only real choices, I guess. I mean, when you think about it, like,
it must be hard, like you say, though, like advertising, because you try to advertise it through the ARG, but then the ARG only really caters to the hardcore fans that are already part of No Man's Sky anyway.
Yeah, but I see it from my point of view because, like I follow this. I've been playing No Man's Sky since launch. And so like I have friends that I work with and I know that play, PlayStation or whatever. And, they either didn't play No Man's Sky or they heard about how bad it was at launch or they played it at launch and they didn't like it. And like, they still ask me about it. And like, I'm like, yeah, there's this ARG going on. And like, so like, I do tell them about the game, and like over time, like I've told them like, hey, there's a huge update, you should give it a shot, like so like maybe like their Waking Titan isn't directly advertising to those people, but the people, their hardcore fans are getting the word out to other people. So it's like word of mouth advertising. So I mean, that's just as good, I guess. I mean, this way here, like, I'm physically telling people instead of people going out and trying to see the advertisements themselves or whatever. Like they're getting it word of mouth from an actual person that plays the game, not a
a troll.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, maybe this is probably the best option for him. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, then. So let's move on to the idea of this next update. Then, so after the ARG, the ARG is completed. How do I word this? So, not after it's completed then. So, how long do you reckon they can keep the ARG actually going after this update?
Yeah, this is one of the things that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Like how, like, my mind is, okay, I don't really know.
We've had 2 years of updates now, haven't we, already? So
exactly. So I'm not even sure if I think I might have mentioned this to you. Like, like the last ARG had something directly linked to the story of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Okay. This one right here, it's really vague on how it really connects. It's almost like they're just doing the ARG to do the ARG almost.
Yeah.
And so like, talk to me at the end of this and maybe they'll link it somehow. But I mean, this feeling of this ARG is completely different than the previous one, where you could directly link it to the gameplay or the lore of No Man's Sky. This one right here, it's like not so much. So, like, how much longer can they really keep this going? Like,
yeah.
And
it doesn't really seem as relevant as what the previous update was to the ARG.
No.
They were intertwined together, whereas this one seems to be... it seems to be the same ARG, but then the rewards kind of thing that you're getting don't seem to be linked to...
At least at this point.
Anything tangible within the game at the minute.
Right. I mean, this, like I said, this all could change a month from now when they like finally wrap it up and bring it all together. But at this point right now, like I just don't see how it fits in kind of to lore, I guess. So
going on about obviously it's been almost 2 years since the game's been released, and obviously we've had, is it 4 updates? No, this will be the 4th update.
This will be the 4th one.
Yeah. Will this be the last big update that hits No Man's Sky, do you reckon?
I mean, I'd almost lean 50-50. I mean, sure. I mean, they could probably maybe keep this going or maybe give it another big update, but for how they're talking about how this is going to be the biggest update they've ever done, or they're going to be doing all this and that, like, who knows? Like, they might just do this one and have a couple smaller updates now and then, but, I mean, this could be the last big one. I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, how much... I mean, games only really stay updated, and I mean, this is like GTA, where they're constantly putting out small little updates here and there, but, like, when was the last huge GTA update? Like what I'm saying, like, a huge content. Like, they have, like...
But the thing, obviously, they have a continuous large player base, though, don't they?
Right. I mean, it's going to get to the point where, like, the player base that they have just doesn't justify them putting out and investing money into the content.
Although you say that, though, but then we've had... how long has World of Warcraft been out for?
Oh, well, dude, you can't compare those two. It's completely...
It's obviously... I think it's also depending on how your game is... Because obviously with things like GTA now, most people don't even play the main game of GTA anymore. They play...
It's all online.
Exactly, and that's how the Rockstar getting their money is from, obviously the players paying for money, in-game currency and things like that.
Right.
So obviously, of course, when they know they're getting, I don't know, 10 million people playing each day, spending X amount of money, of course they're going to keep, even if it's not big content drops, they're still going to support the game until they'll play with like a profit margin where they say if we drop below this margin, then we'll stop producing content. And then
that's the thing, though.
They'll have another one where they'll say if player base drops below this level, then we'll stop even supporting the servers online.
Right. I mean, I let's put it this way. Like, I just GTA's player base is far and above what No Man's Sky's player base is, and like, I mean, so I just. I love No Man's Sky, and I don't want them to stop doing updates. Like, I don't think I'm coming from that point of view. I just don't see how much longer they could just sustain.
Yeah.
I mean, they might get a huge infusion from Xbox players and money from Xbox and all this other stuff, and like, I hope so. Like, I don't want them to stop updating the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're not going to work in this game for the rest of their careers.
Oh no.
They have to. I mean, they're eventually going to be doing something else, and they're going to like just slowly pull people off of the No Man's Sky crew and put them on their newest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so eventually it's just going to be
not only
people just working on
something new.
No, I was going to say people like. Yeah, they're going to be working on something new soon. So I mean, eventually it's going to happen. I mean. And if this is going to be that big of an update, and they're going to go through and they're going to fix a lot of the problems that people are still complaining about, what else is there?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, what else? I mean, if they add an actual real multiplayer and they fix a lot of things that they either promised or they are still kind of trying to tweak out and stuff like that, if they do all that, then what else really is there to really do? I
think it's a three-way thing. I think the first point is depending on what comes out in this update. If multiplayer isn't in this update, then we'll get another big one. I also feel like it also depends on the sales of the Microsoft on the Xbox.
Right.
And I also feel like it depends on just general interest in the game on all systems, not just on the new Xbox or the Chinese version of Steam.
That's going to be huge too.
Exactly.
I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. I want to see what the sales are for that.
Yeah. Going on to your point about just the general lifespan. Obviously, we are halfway through. In fact, we're probably over halfway through the PlayStation's lifespan anyway, as it is already. Sony are already going to be developing a new console as it is, and
I mean, there's talks of them showing it off at E3.
Exactly. So, going by that fact, I mean, obviously, I know Hello Games will have their own servers to support No Man's Sky, but don't forget, obviously, Sony will have servers what support certain information as well of No Man's Sky. So they'll obviously. They'll have servers what will allow you to buy the game online off the PlayStation Store. If this update drops and it just doesn't do anything for No Man's Sky or anything, they're not going to put it onto PlayStation 5's store catalog. It will if it doesn't, if it's not successful. I do not think on console. It will have a life after this current generation of consoles.
Well, I've been hearing rumors that the new PlayStation 5 is going to do some of the backwards compatibility. So if that's the case, then they will keep it up there.
Yeah, but obviously, you got to look at it like the Xbox. Not all Xbox games are backwards compatible on the Xbox One, are they?
No.
So. Sony might go that way and obviously pick and choose and release certain. I mean, you never know. Maybe 5 years down the line, after we're talking now, they might decide, let's add No Man's Sky to that list. But I mean, like I said, if it's like Microsoft, they'll pick and choose certain games every month or every couple of months to put on. Actually, think about it. I'm not gonna lie, but it seems like we've had a lot less games what's come out on the current generation of systems than we did on the previous generation.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. I mean, you're probably right about that.
I mean, we're 5 years in. It'll be 5 years this November since the PlayStation 4 got released.
I think you know what it is. I think it's just like I think the major the major studios or whatever have kind of drowned out the smaller to mid-range studios.
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, really?
I feel like, I mean, on both consoles we haven't had massive release of first-party games, especially Xbox.
Well, dude, that's Xbox's fault.
But even PlayStation, I think, obviously we've got God of War, that's just released. We've had Horizon Zero Dawn.
That was a huge release for them.
Yeah.
The Uncharted series, that was huge for them. Then they had this...
I mean, like, new games. Obviously, Uncharted, like, the newest one, what they released, sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but they're releasing games, but they're all just, like, sequels to, like, look at Destiny. You know, Destiny was huge, and so they came out with Destiny 2, and, like, now there's talks of Destiny 3, and, like... So, like, maybe not, like, new games, but they're still coming out with...
But that's what I mean. I can only think of...
I mean, Call of Duty comes out like every year.
Well, yeah, but that's every year, though, isn't it? I mean, and plus it's not a first-party game, is it? I mean, games that are only released on PlayStation or only released on Xbox. I think, like I said, just off the top of my head right now, I can only think of, from PlayStation, is those three currently. And it just seems like we're a lot further behind than what we used to be. Maybe it's just the fact that modern gaming were a lot more, diverse, and a lot more games are released on more than just one platform. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I was thinking about the update. Anyway, will this be the last one? It's a bit of a weird situation that No Man's Sky finds itself in, I think, right now.
I think a lot's going to base off of just how the reaction the Xbox players have to it. If it doesn't sell well on Xbox, I think this might be their time to be like, you know what, we tried, we did everything we could, it's just not going to happen, let's just move on. Yeah.
Speaking of moving on, so the next topic, if the next update is going to be completely reset the game, or it's going to be a complete overhaul, as many people are speculating, do you reckon the original release of No Man's Sky, which was 2 years ago, was basically collateral damage to appease Sony/PlayStation? Obviously, if it turns out to be the case that it's got a complete overhaul.
Yeah, I mean... It almost seems that way. I mean, I think the majority of people that play No Man's Sky and that are really hardcore fans of it, I think all of them are pretty much in the circle of Sony rushed this and Hello Games needed more time.
Mm.
You know, so like, I mean, that's the way that I feel. I mean, it seems like Sony was pushing and pushing and pushing, and don't forget the fans were pushing as well. So as much as we blame Sony for this, the fans were pushing for this too. So, if we could have chilled out a little bit, maybe we could have gotten them a little bit more time. And goddamn dog. Sorry about that.
My dog's okay.
Background. If we could have cooled out a little bit, maybe we didn't put so much pressure on Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sony probably pressured them quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and it goes back to what you're saying too. Maybe they announced the game too soon.
It's kind of three-pronged, wasn't it? It feels like Sean Murray announced it too early. Then Sony obviously pushing to get the game released, and then fans like completely overhyping the game, and then it was definitely. I definitely feel like it was our fault that the game got such a positive reaction to begin with before it got released, and then it was just a negative reaction afterwards. But like I said, it was definitely a three-pronged thing that just didn't help anyone at all.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good situation. Like, looking back on it, like, during, leading up to it, like, you were blind to it, but now that we're almost 2 years in, looking back on it, it really wasn't the best situation on anybody's part.
No. I mean, we were waiting 2-3 years before the game was released? Since it was, when it was first announced?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time. I mean, like, even like Bethesda, they don't tend to release or announce games till maybe like a year before, at most. In recent times,
they're so tight-lipped with their stuff, though.
And even like Rockstar announced obviously Red Dead last year, so it was only like a year and a half beforehand.
Right.
So, yeah, okay then. So we got a question from a subscriber who was a long-time subscriber. He's been a long-time listener. Kingsferno, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. He asks, what would the main characteristics of your perfect space game be?
Do you want to answer that first, or do you want me to go?
Whichever. Are you ready to go?
I mean, for the most part, I think.
Go on then. You go first then.
I guess, like, I mean, I played a bunch of different space games, so, like, I would want to pull some from everywhere. I love the story of Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I love that story of Mass Effect. I love the exploration of No Man's Sky. And I love the intensity of Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Elite Dangerous, that feels like there's severe consequences if you make a mistake.
Yeah.
You don't get that in No Man's Sky at all.
No.
And there's not really that good of a story in Elite Dangerous. Not like Mass Effect has, like, their stories lines in it. And even up until a certain point, like, No Man's Sky can't really compete with a Mass Effect type of story either.
No.
So, like, I would want, like, a little bit of everything. I mean, like, take all those 3 games together and kind of just take the best parts of it and then put it into one game. It would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see what happens with this Bethesda game that's supposedly coming out.
For sure.
If Bethesda's always been good at storytelling.
Mm.
I mean, in Skyrim, when you play Skyrim or stuff like that, I mean, there's hard content there. Like, there's consequences there. And so it depends if they can get the exploration down. If, like, there's an actual legit exploration like No Man's Sky, like, that might be it. Like, that might be the 3 main things that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm really hoping Bethesda does a good job of that, and that would be like my saving grace. I mean, but that was what I want. I would want the exploration of No Man's Sky. I would want the story of Mass Effect, and I would want the realism and consequences that Elite Dangerous has.
Yeah, that is a really good idea, to be fair.
And one more thing, rings on planets.
We're just gonna have to have a picture of you with like rings around your head or something. that will just have to be like your avatar picture.
Oh my god, man, that's so crazy.
I think for me, that sounds like almost perfect. I mean, personally, I would love Freelancer to be modernized, basically, because it was such a good game. I mean, the storyline wasn't amazing, but it was good. Mm-hmm. There's obviously going to be tweaks with the game. I don't know. I think it's probably about 10, coming up to maybe 15 years old in that time. You basically flew, all of space was open to you. Not all of space, but you could fly anywhere in each system. You couldn't walk around. You had to like click on locations. So it was kind of like a point-and-clicking locations when you were on the planet. But if they could mix obviously things like you say, like No Man's Sky's exploration into that. I think I'd like some of Elite Dangerous's like the ship setting. So like you have to land the ship properly and things like that. I'll be up for. But I would want to keep like the idea of Freelancer behind it though. So Freelancer seems to me like a lot simpler version of what Elite Dangerous's like trade systems are. But like Elite Dangerous trade systems are just completely mind-boggling at times. There's that much information and things what happens in between the time that you pick up one delivery and go and drop it off somewhere else.
Right.
Sorry about that. But yeah, I think what you said is like a really good idea. It'd be nice to. I can't decide what kind of like graphically what I would like to see. I mean, it'll probably be something like between, like you say, No Man's Sky and maybe and Mass Effect's graphics. So I like the vivid colours in No Man's Sky.
Right.
But they could definitely like some of the shapes could definitely be like sharpened. And
a little less cartoony.
Yeah. Maybe not even less cartoony, but more detail.
Mm-hmm.
Because they seem to be very. Is blurry the right word? There's not much definition.
I know what you mean, though.
There's not much definition between certain graphics and shapes in, like, even in the animals or in the plants and things. At times, or even like the planet's surfaces. There's like a lot of the times, like it's just weird. Like there doesn't seem to be a difference. Like you go from like barren waste, and then there'll be just a random patch of grass with no like development of grass. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to be like
right.
It just goes from completely bare to a patch of grass. There doesn't seem to be like these little bits of grass leading up to it or something. So.
I mean, like, one of the biggest things, like, I hate No Man's Sky is that the water doesn't move.
Yeah. It's just sitting there.
It's kind of like just like it's just rendering there. You know, it doesn't, even on the coastline, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't
no waves.
move. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no waves or anything like that.
Yeah. So hopefully that's answered your question, King Spurno. Thank you for listening.
Great question. Thanks for listening.
Definitely. Now let's move it on to our E3. I'm not going to say predictions quite yet. I think we'll save that for maybe one towards the end of May episode. But let's look at confirmed sci-fi games which are coming to E3 when I wrote this. So these are confirmed games that we know of. We've got Anthem, which is being developed by BioWare, I think, isn't it? Over at EA.
I believe so. Yeah. Beware of that. I'm a little bit skeptical on that game, to be honest with you. I don't know. I get a bad feeling about that game. People are putting a lot of stock into it, and I don't know. I'm not there yet. See,
I think I love BioWare because they created one of my favourite games of all time, which was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Mm-hmm. Or it was either that one or it was the second one. I think for some reason I got Obsidian in my head, and I think that's one of the companies that made it as well, one of the studios that made it as well. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm hoping for, I really really hope that this is amazing, because it basically looks like giant mechs. Well, not giant mechs, but like mech suits crossed with Destiny. So
I'm not buying it yet, especially even since like they already delayed it once already. Like I don't know. I have like just a bad feeling about it. You know, prove me wrong. Like I'll be all set to say I was wrong, but I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I
think Destiny 2 has put a sour taste in my mouth, to be fair with you.
Oh well, dude, I feel the same way. Destiny 2 is hot garbage. I mean, I would rather play Destiny 1 over Destiny 2.
Yeah.
It's just there's no point of playing Destiny 2 whatsoever right now.
And I think because of how similar Anthem looks, even though it is mech suits and you get in these suits, it looks very similar to what Destiny is.
I don't know, man. I just the more you got me thinking about it, the more and more I just have a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, hopefully we'll see. Like I said, it has been confirmed at E3, whether that's just on the show floor or whether it will probably be some kind of trailer.
I'm sure.
Or maybe even gameplay footage.
I don't trust. I mean, tell you what. I mean, I don't blame No Man's Sky for this, but I mean, a lot of games do this. I don't trust any gameplay trailers in E3 anymore. I mean, they're all fake.
Yeah. And also Beyond Good and Evil 2 over at Ubisoft. Now, I never played the first one.
I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this.
Yeah. It's. I hear it's a very much beloved game from place. I don't think it was on one of the Xboxes. But I hear it's a very much beloved game from PlayStation's past. And it's just, I think it's been like 10 years, maybe more, since the first one came out.
I think so.
And I can't even remember. I remember the case. I remember a girl being on it. I think there's a pig on the front of the case.
I don't even remember now. I'll have to look at that.
And I think that's all I remember from the original one. I don't think I ever played it. No, it's a girl and she's got like a back turned. Oh, it wasn't. It was on the original Xbox as well. So it was on the original Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation, I'm guessing.
GameCube, oh my god.
Yeah, so that's how old this game is. And yeah, so I never played the original one, but I just remember the front cover of it. But last year at E3, at Ubisoft's press conference, I saw the trailer for this, and this looked incredible. I mean, yes, it was just a video trailer. It wasn't actual in-game footage, but the amount of like hype that just that trailer garnered on its own, it's actually making me stand up a little bit and take notice. I mean,
I'm excited. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's on Steam at all. The original, we'll have to have a look.
That I don't know. I don't PC play too much anymore.
No,
so.
I mean,
it's too expensive to buy PCs anymore. Ever since that Bitcoin crap was going on, and graphics cards cost like $800 because of they were using the graphics cards to farm bitcoins, and I'm done with PC.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I ain't got like an amazing computer, but I kind of made it just before the whole Bitcoin thing happened. So
apparently, I was reading an article saying that they actually found a different way to farm bitcoins now. So, like, I guess the market for graphics cards is going to come back down. Finally,
that makes sense.
But it got a little bit too ridiculous. I mean, I was going to build a PC, and my friend were talking about it like about a couple months ago, and I just happened to look, and I was like, oh my god, like, for not even a good graphics card, it was like $600 or $700.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the hell happened to the prices on PC? You know, it's like. It's ridiculous, man.
So yeah, it is on Steam, Beyond Good and Evil. That's currently at £3.49, so I'm guessing that's probably about $5 or $6 for you, something like that, maybe $7.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And release date was 2003, so it's 15 years old.
Wow.
And that I can't imagine it's coming out this year anyway. Beyond Good and Evil 2, so it's going to be at least 16 years old before it comes out. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of development that's had since. Let's move on to rumoured games for E3. We've got... I'm going to save the one that I'm personally looking forward to last. I've got no experience with this one. Metroid Prime 4, that'll be on Switch. I've never had any experience of the Metroid Prime games. I'm guessing you haven't.
Oh, I have.
I have.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Metroid. And it's not enough. It's not enough for me to go out and buy a Switch yet. There is one game that I'll mention later on that would make me go out and buy a Switch, but I'm afraid to admit it. I'm afraid to admit it.
Oh, I'll openly admit it. It's going to be Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a massive Pokemon nerd. It was when Pokemon first came out. How old was I? I was probably about 8 or 9 when it first came out, and yeah.
Let me tell you what. I'll go out and buy a Switch tomorrow if they announce that there's going to be a Pokemon game that's like open world, like a type of shit, like Legend, like the Zelda games they have. Like if it's like open world like that, and like you're catching Pokemon and shit, and you can battle your friends like through the Switch. Oh, I'm signing up. I'm buying it tomorrow.
You just gave me goose pimples just thinking about it. But yeah, I have no personal experience with Metroid Prime games, so I've got no idea.
Metroid's good. I love Metroid.
Yeah, I hate it's supposed to be a first-person game, like maybe a first-person shooter or something.
I hope not.
But yeah, we'll have to see that at Nintendo's Direct. Because they don't have like a proper press conference, do they, Nintendo? It tends to be a Direct they have.
No, they have their own separate thing. Nintendo's like the rogue. Yeah.
And then Death Stranding, which is PlayStation's newest, or not newest, but new acquisition, which is teamed up with the bloke who made Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
This is the really weird fucking looking thing with what's his name? The guy out of Walking Dead.
So is that the game where the guy was the guy walking naked on the beach with a baby?
Yeah.
And shit? I'm done with that. I don't even know what the game's about. I don't care.
It's
like that was just so weird. Like it's like some art film, like freaking like intro and shit. Like show some gameplay.
Have you seen the latest trailer for it?
No, I haven't.
It looks like a bit like a horror game.
Oh, okay.
So like, we like they're on the surface of this planet and they've got like these suits on, and
okay.
It seems like they've got to reduce their heart rate, otherwise these monsters, invisible alien monster things, can sense that they're there. And basically, in the trailer, like someone can't control themselves, and then this big invisible foot thing comes down and just stomps on him.
I work with a guy, and he is a huge fan of this developer guy that's making this game, right?
Yeah.
And he blindly just says, "Oh no, this game is going to be great. This game is going to be fantastic because this guy's making it." And I'm like, "Well, how do you base that off of?" I was like, so I just go back to, you've seen a trailer of a guy naked on the beach holding the baby. Like, can you even say that this game is going to be great? Like, you haven't even seen anything yet.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, but this developer's great. I just know it." And I'm like, "Well, dude, I don't know. Like, that's your opinion, but like basing off of what we've seen so far, like it."
You literally got no idea what it's going to be. It's like,
I know.
You just got no conceptual idea what kind of game it's going to be or anything like that. So, I mean, I'm going to keep an open mind on it. It's just that it's weird as fuck.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm on the other end where I'm all set with that.
Yeah. Now, a rumored one on the Xbox front is Crackdown 3, which is a big surprise.
Oh my God. This game has been in development for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was supposed to be at E3 last year, wasn't it?
They showed like a commercial. Remember the guy that does the Old Spice commercials and shit?
Oh, yeah.
There was an actual like trailer commercial thing or whatever with that guy in it, and everybody thought it was like, "Oh, it's almost ready. It's almost ready." No, it's not ready. And this
wasn't it supposed to be released at the end of last year?
Yeah, and it got delayed again. And
well, if it's not even released before E3, that's going to be at least fourth quarter.
Yeah. I mean,
that's crazy.
I don't know. I hope, I have an Xbox, so like there's very few games that I'm looking forward to on Xbox. This is one of them.
Yeah.
And like, I'm only gonna wait just so much longer.
See, I wasn't even that bothered about the second Crackdown 2. I don't think it was as good as the first one.
No, the first one was awesome.
Yeah, and the fact that we're having to wait so long for the third one, it doesn't fill me with confidence.
Well, they're doing so much shit, though, man, because like they're gonna do it so that the whole world is destructible, and like they're doing it so that it's linking up with the Microsoft Cloud and all this other crap, and like it just seems too much, like too busy. Like, just make the game already, like it doesn't have to be 100% destructible. I know. Like, why are you trying to screw up a good thing?
Yeah.
Like, just like they could have got this thing out so much sooner. Like, I understand they're trying to do big things and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like, you're taking too much time.
It's the woe of Xbox One's first-party games, though, isn't it? Everything just seems to be taking so long, and then it just gets cancelled.
Yeah.
Like that Dragon game that was supposed to come out on Xbox.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it was in development for ages, and then it got cancelled. Like, it was supposed to be almost finished, and it got cancelled. But yeah, now this one is my personal one. What I'm really hoping is going to be E3, and that's Borderlands 3. Oh,
Borderlands.
Oh, I love Borderlands.
I respect the game of Borderlands, and I know it has a huge following, and I know it's really successful. I hate the animation of it. I don't like that dry, wet cell animation or whatever the fuck they use and shit. Like, it's a good game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not mocking it. I'm not saying it's a bad game. Just the animation style is like not my cup of tea. So
I love it, and I think the reason is because of Call of Duty and all these other games that are trying to look so realistic and so serious, and then Borderlands comes along and just takes the piss, and it's a fun looking. I find it a fun looking game. Mm-hmm. It's you can't take Borderlands seriously at all, but that's like the fun of it. I find.
Right. It's a good, like I said, it's a good game. It has a huge following. It has a huge player base. Yeah. People love it. I'm not mocking it, saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying that the art style is not
for you.
My favorite. Yeah, not for me.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that's all I've managed to find at the moment. Obviously, I think I'll update it maybe on a weekly basis.
I have one question for you.
Go on then.
Are there any games that you're looking forward to, like surprise releases or anything? Like, is there anything out there that it hasn't been leaked yet that you're like, man, I really wish they would do this or that, or you know what I'm saying?
Gaming in general or science fiction games?
I guess maybe. I mean, don't give me a sports game. Like, don't talk about FIFA with me. Well, you know, nothing like that. But
I'm hoping that I know it's coming, but like we just said a minute ago, I'm hoping that they announce, like, officially reveal the new Pokemon game at E3 this year. They did mention recently that that E3 this year is going to be focused mostly around Smash Bros.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Nintendo, they always start off with the thing that they're going to talk about, and then right at the end they always have a teaser trailer. So like at the Nintendo Direct that happened in March, I think it was. That's when they announced Smash Bros. Right at the end. Mm-hmm. They admitted like beforehand that it's gonna the Direct was going to be focused on Splatoon 2, and we got a load of Splatoon 2 stuff. And then right at the end, the Splatoon characters was there, and then turn around, there's the big Smash Bros. Logo on fire, and like Mario's there, and Zelda's there, and Link's there, and things. So yeah. So there's that. I mean that it's obviously coming, but you know. I just want it to be like properly announced and what it's going to be called, etc. I don't know, because I think everything. I kind of know everything that I want to get for this year at least already. Another game that I'm really looking forward to is Shenmue.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a beloved game from the Dreamcast. It was. I think 2 years ago, Sony got the rights to for them to develop the third one, Shenmue 3, and it was that one that they released on Kickstarter.
Okay.
And it broke records for the amount of money that it gained, like quickest amount of time in Kickstarter's history at that point. It broke all the records. I think they've reached just the first tier in probably about 20 hours or something like that. But it's such a good game. If you haven't seen it, I mean, like I said, the first one was released on Dreamcast. The second one was released on Xbox, and then that's the 360 was a 10-year cycle. And obviously we've got 5 years of this one, so it's been at least 15 years since, or 14 years maybe since the second one was released. But it was so good. Like its story was amazing. But we know those the first two are getting re-released on PlayStation, and then obviously the third one's coming out supposedly this year as well. So I don't know of any actual specific game that I want to get re-released right now off the top of my head. I'll have to have a think of it, and then next episode I'll have to come back with some more ideas. Have you got anything in mind?
I have two. I have one game that I'm hoping that they show a lot more of, and that is Soul Calibur. It's a fighting game for PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping they give a release date for that finally, because that was at PAX. And
right.
It was playable at PAX East, so like that's almost
for sure,
ready.
Then. Yeah, for sure.
And there's one game, dude, that I heard like rumblings about like last year or the year before, and like people got really hyped about it, and like I really hope they kind of like remake it. And that's Siphon Filter. Like I don't know if you remember that game.
Yeah, there's always rumors about Siphon Filter.
Like I want that back. Like I want that back in my life.
I'm trying to remember who the developer is, because obviously it was a PlayStation exclusive, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Who is it? Let me have a look. But yeah, carry on. Let's have a look. 989. Ooh. Let's have a look at the second one. I'm just quickly going through, because the developer was it's Sony Benz. Now, I know Sony Benz are developing... Oh, no, so I reckon we won't hear anything about Siphon Filter, because Sony Benz are the guys who's doing that Days Gone, that zombie game on PlayStation.
Oh.
And that's slated to come out next year. So unless they're doing just a quick remake of Siphon Filter 2 or Siphon Filter...
even if they just remaster it, like that would be okay with me.
Yeah. But this Days Gone is supposed to come out next year, so obviously they've still got work to do on that. So whether they've obviously, I mean, Sony Benz haven't even got like a long list of games they've released. They did. The first game was called Bubsy 3D, then Siphon Filter 2, Siphon Filter 2 and 3, then Siphon Filter The Mega Strain, Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, Siphon Filter Love and Shadow. And then they did Resistance, Retribution, Uncharted Golden Abyss, Uncharted Flight for Fortune, and then Days Gone. So they've only made 11 games in a 22-year career.
That's actually not bad. I mean, that's like
a game every other year.
Average out game every other year. So
yeah. But then again, you say that though. But 2012 was the last time they released a game.
Right.
So it's been 7 years since they released the game. So that's it's a bit mental, really.
Like that's the only like two things that I'm really one I wish, and then one I'm hoping they give a release date for finally.
Yeah.
So I mean that's about it, really.
Nice.
Anything else would be a complete surprise. I mean.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to E3 though. And I'm backtracking to last episode, the Jurassic Park game that I was talking about.
Checked it out. I checked it out, by the way, too.
Yeah, that good. Jurassic World Evolution. It's pretty much just a re-release of an old game called Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, which was it's basically just a Zoo Tycoon game, but Jurassic Park style.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same idea, but it's made by the people who made that recent roller coaster game on Steam. I don't want to call it roller coaster game, but
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
No, it's pretty much the same thing, but it's a really in-depth version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's made by Frontier Developments, who made Elite Dangerous. So, and it's Planet Coaster is the game.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's like a really in-depth game what they made, and in fact my friend is working on Jurassic World. In fact, where I used to live, he used to live like 3 houses up from me. But yeah, so Elite Dangerous makers who also made Planet Coaster now making Jurassic World Evolution, which comes out on the 12th of next month.
Nice.
So, and that's out on all platforms except for obviously Switch, I do believe. Although it might get ported at some point. Like every single game seems to be getting ported to Switch now.
Right.
But yeah, so if any of you guys can think of anything you want us to talk about, like King's Inferno, make sure you leave a comment down below. If you guys are, looking forward to any games at E3 being announced, let us know as well. Make sure you check out our links for both iTunes and the Google Play Music downloads for the podcast. Make sure you check out Jeff on Twitter and YouTube.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're down in the description. So I'm pretty sure I need to go over everything again just to make sure.
It's pretty easy. It's just multigrain pasta. I think both on Twitter, and if you just search multigrain pasta on Twitter, I think it's like at Retro Wi-Fi Gaming.
Yeah.
On YouTube, I think it's pretty much just multigrain pasta. So
yeah, but it will be down below. It's just I need to make sure what I've got in there definitely. But yes, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you here again, Jeff.
Oh man, always a pleasure. It's an honor.
Thank you very much. And from us to you guys, we shall see you next time.